Ladies and gentlemen, join us today as we journey farther down the rabbit hole of how much power will this combo make? When will be the next part to fail? And when is Uncle Rodney going to visit, seeing that this is a Gen 3 motor that I do nothing but thrash? Stay tuned and we will all find out together on today's episode. Okay, let's quick recap and set the stage for today's events. I put the eBay fuel pressure regulator on. I have 55 psi static. I have the 210 pound injectors in, of course. I have added the second Walboro 450. I'm running on 60% ethanol out of the pump over here in my area for winter. And today we're going to run this thing on low boost and then push into higher boost and see if the converter is going to give up closing in on 700 horsepower again. We're just going to do wastegate 4 psi and we're going to use that to judge drive third, the rest of our competition. Alright, I'm logging, engine coolant temp, everything's good. Bring her up. There's third. Shifted on me, but it made like what it always makes, like 409 on 4 psi or so. Yeah, I still got to work on my D-cell, guys. Don't kill me. Okay, I can show you here. This is what I was looking at on the dyno. This right here is spikes from the downshift, so you have to disregard those. And then over here is the peak, which is about 415. This is just, sometimes you get spikes when you lift. You can't always count that unless you're going for every last ounce. So it made approximately 415 on just 5 pounds of boost. Very happy with that. Really good start. And then here we go again. I'm going to try to make it a habit to show you guys, you know, the logs and everything as I have them. And you can see here that, you know, 140 kPa max. And that's it. 415 to the tire. Nice work. So we got 424 on 5.5 pounds, and we're just gonna go right up into it. All right, we'll go right for like 18, 20 pounds. We're going right for 18 or 20 psi. See what it makes. I put 2 boost controllers on so I wouldn't run out. 1/3 so it doesn't downshift on me. Reverse, neutral, drive, 3. Trans, 3rd. kPa. That's like 18, 19, 245, 21 pounds. Excellent. So is that my average? 248. Yeah, right around 21 pounds. And it looks like it made, let me go look. It made 622. Nice. All right, here is that ripper test hit there, right into the, rescale, right up into the 600 range, and a little bit too much fuel up top, and still pretty conservative on ignition, but that's fine. All I was doing was spinning and street tuning it. And this is funny, like this is where you start seeing something to note here is 534 foot-pounds. This converter struggles with a certain amount here, and every other dyno pull after this, I can't make over 530 foot-pounds. It could be because I'm past peak torque, but it also could be that the converter simply cannot, handle any more power. So there's another thing for you to reference. And then, what do we got here? Let's go right into the log file. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. And then there, I get this knock retard at the end here, and I get it. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. I'm not really sure what that's about. Something rubbing something hitting something. I kind of doubt it's actually knock, because back-to-back pulls, I won't see any knock on the street. I won't see it, and then every now and then I'll get a little twinkle of it. Anyway, we'll just ignore it for now for the sake of, getting the show on the road here. But 248, 11.3, 40% duty cycle, still a little bit fat, so it takes less duty cycle than that, obviously, at this power level. But all right, on 21 pounds with conservative ignition, we made 622. So I think I'm going to try to bump the boost a tiny bit more and leave the ignition down and see if it picks up any more. If it doesn't, I want to put in a little bit of ignition. All right, we are conservatively making 13.5 horsepower per pound, not leaning on the ignition. So I'm going to add a little bit more boost, and if it keeps picking up good horsepower that way, I'm not really going to push on ignition because of the, the Gen 3 bottom end ordeal. So we're going to hit it again, check the temperatures, and make sure everything else is safe. Alright, it made the same boost. I might be out of boost. Like I might be not have enough wastegate or starting to run into too much back pressure. So we'll see. If I can't get any more boost out of it, that's fine with me. Maybe I'll sneak a degree in. But it has a tiny bit of knock retard up top, which this thing has, like, it gets knock in weird spots sometimes. I don't think it has too much ignition in it. I don't think. It has like approximately 11 degrees and it was pinging a tiny bit on 21 pounds. It made 624, so it made a little bit more, but it's repeating. It's doing the exact same thing over and over. It has like an 11.5 air fuel, everything else is looking good. It's only using about 40% of the injector, which is extremely good. So I'll let it cool off a little bit. I'll hit it with all the boost controller has, and we'll see if that 4-pound spring can make any more. Alright, and now just to continue with the experiment here, I have a ball and spring boost controller on the lower, so I tried to add a little bit to that. So I wanted to see if it was my converter going away, or if it was I couldn't get any more boost. And I was able to swing the boost around from 19 to 25 pounds, and I swung my ignition around in that area from about 9 to 12 degrees, and I made pretty much the same power every pull. My best one, hot, back to back, was like 649, so it's doing good, but it just can't, the converter can't seem to get it, or the combination is just backing up at this point. Not sure exactly what, but I ran into this horsepower limitation with this converter with the other combination in the Colorado as it was like a year and a half ago. Since we picked up on a pound or two here, we are going to try to hit it with a little bit more. 004 650 rear wheel on 22.5 psi. So since it's picking up on boost, we're going to add a little bit more boost. Yep, we're going to add a little bit more boost. Making power on boost, we're going to keep giving it boost. Reverse, neutral, drive, third. 2, 3. made the same. I made a little bit more boost, but it pulled a bunch of spark retard. I don't know if something's getting noisy in there, but we're gonna call it a day. Yeah, and here I was splitting hairs, doing 640, 650, and a pretty significant ignition swing, 4 degrees in and out and 4 pounds in and out, and still making the same power. So I always talk about, diminishing gains. It's time to quit. Usually that's just a red mist you will chase and just hurt things. So I decided to call it a day at that point, and maybe we'll figure out if there's, if it's the converter, or if I'm running out of turbo, or if the cam sucks at this point, or if it's one thing or another, the intercooler or the piping, which you can't really say it's that because I made much more with the larger engine and turbo. So, little things, but it's fun to theorize, isn't it? And then, here on 22 I made 650, and on 23 I made 650, and one had 12 degrees in it and the other one had 9 degrees in it, and they made the same amount. It was still like a 10.8 air fuel at 45% duty cycle, and you can see here that knock retard just blipping up again at 6,300. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I can't really tell you why that's happening. Stock ECU fun, right? Anyway, let's continue on.